Good evening, everyone. This is Ben Fighter here, and I have something different and very special for you. I call it a visionary prophetic prayer. The title is The Throne and the Ice Pick Agents, Part 2. And of course, it will help to understand this part if you first read Part 1. And also, you'll understand what it is that the throne of God has to do with the ice pick agents. Okay, so here we go. Subtitle Swamp Snake Detention Center. Meanwhile, on the other side of the country, at a large prison compound, hundreds of immigrants arrested by ice pick agents are fighting to exist under inhumane conditions with no due process of law. Poor quality food, some even containing maggots, are living under subhuman conditions. The toilets are not enough for the huge population of prisoners that reside in these facilities, which are nothing more than huge cages. With no blankets, the inmates suffer cold at night and sweat the heat in the daytime. The authorities at large are very concerned about the unlawful procedures being used against the prisoners who are accused of being dangerous criminals. However, the authorities found that hundreds of men imprisoned, the men imprisoned have no criminal record. News report: 2,000 immigrant prisoners escaped from Swamp Snake Detention Center. We just got information this morning that apparently all 2,000 of the prisoners being held at the Swamp Snake Detention Center have mysteriously disappeared. In an interview with one of the guards who was supposed to keep watch during the night, said the following: I don't understand what happened. Everything was fine until 11 at night. I and 5 other guards were keeping watch over our sector, and I was just finishing my walking around on cage number 1 when suddenly I began to get very drowsy and sleepy. I noticed that the other guards were acting strangely, as some were sitting down on the floor. It looked like they were falling asleep. I too must have fallen asleep because I don't remember anything after that. At least not until this morning when the director of operations flew in on a helicopter to see what the hell was going on. What's going on here, barked Mud Rotter, director of all the ice pick agencies and departments nationwide. We have over 400 guards watching over these detention facilities. So how is it possible that 2,000 immigrants could disappear overnight? Sir, said one of the camp supervisors, we have reason to believe the terrorists must have sprayed sleeping gas over the whole area, and it was so strong it put everyone to sleep for over 4 hours. Terrorist, my foot, yelled the director. If the sleeping gas was that strong, then how did the prisoners escape? Did they sleepwalk? You, he said, pointing at the camp supervisors, are in big trouble. Heads are going to roll. Subtitle: Hidden camera reveals escape from Swamp Snake Detention Center. This is John Hill continuing to report for Rox News at Miami. After the spectacular escape of 2,000 men from the Swamp Snake Detention Center, authorities have now released a video taken from one of the hidden cameras at the prison-like institute. The film shows several tall men dressed in white going around the containment units and unlocking all the metal doors. The mysterious men waved the prisoners to come out and go outside the building where vehicles were ready to help them escape. But the most intriguing sight is when the camera shows all the guards laying down on the ground, snoring in deep sleep. Subtitle: 12 midnight and all the guards are asleep. It was 12:01 in the morning when the 7-foot Michael walked into the Swamp Snake prison compound. A band of 700 of his companions were following close behind. At close range, one could see that their feet did not seem to touch the ground, like walking on the air. As the men in white approached the cage doors, each lock mysteriously fell to the ground, and the doors were opened. They had to shake the sleeping men awake and tell them to quickly put on their shoes and follow them through the open doors to the exit where buses were waiting to pick them up. One of the prisoners kept rubbing his eyes. He thought he was dreaming when he saw what was happening and all the guards laying on the ground. ¿Están muertos?" he asked Gabriel as he tried to keep up with him. No están muertos. Los pusimos a dormir. Ándale, ándale. Tenemos que salir de esta área antes de que se despierten. Miguel was surprised that the man in white could speak in his native tongue. Subtitle: On the Way to Freedom. 37 buses were speeding down the highway, full of happy, singing immigrants from various countries, all on their way to freedom. Gentlemen, said Gabriel over one of the vehicle's intercoms, your first hot meal will be served shortly. Please pull down the folding tray that is on the back of the seat in front of you. Jose's mouth was watering. Did he say hot meal? We haven't had one of those in weeks. The tall man with the white apron came down the aisle with a rolling cart of hot food. Stopping by one of the passengers, he asked, Where are you from? I'm from Maracaibo, he answered. The server smiled and said, Then your plate is going to be caraotas negras, carne mechada, arroz blanco, and plátanos fritos. Moving on, the server asked the next man where he was from. Soy de Chihuahua. Then, how about some huevos rancheros, carne de res, frijoles, tortillas, y jalapeños? Amazed and in tears, Jose took his plate and whispered a prayer. Gracias, Dios, por esta comida milagrosa. Across the aisle from Jose, Miguel leaned over and whispered, Esto me parece todo un milagro. ¿De dónde serán Gabriel y sus compañeros? ¿Quiénes son? Jose looked around and whispered back, Son ángeles. They're angels, man. What else can they be? Who else can put guards to sleep and unlock doors and free all of us from that hellhole we were in? And here we are on a luxury bus eating delicious food and on the way back to our families. As the line of buses sped down the highway, Gabriel connected to all the other buses via the intercom. Gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying your meal and that you are comfortable. And I just want to remind you that all these blessings that you are experiencing today, they're all from above, from the Father of lights. So don't forget to thank Him. So when you go back to your families or your country of origin, take this testimony also. The miracles that you have witnessed today, share them with your family and with all your friends. Post them on your media sites. Let it go viral. As you can see, the world has gone dark and very evil. You see the spirit of the man of lawlessness in world leaders. Their power seems to be insurmountable, unstoppable, but but this is because their base of power comes from deep places of darkness, from the dragon, as it says in the ancient book of Revelation. And in this world of today, you can expect to suffer many things, but be of good cheer. Be of good cheer, the Son of Man has said, for I have overcome the world, and you too will overcome the world if you follow his lead. He has a plan to topple the evil ones and to set up a kingdom where there will be no more hate or greed or no more oppression, no more wars or sickness or hunger. May God, may our God bless every one of you with peace, truth, joy, and abundance. End of message.